Manever I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there osia dem yopo.
The President of the Republic of Ghana told us that he was going to fight Galamsey with his strength and might. He said he would put his presidency on the line to fight Galamsey. Unfortunately, we were thinking like by now our water bodies would be so clean because we trusted his words. In fact, Ghanaians believed in him and trusted him to ensure that the Galamsey fight is really dealt with. Unfortunately, we have heard all sorts of stories, we've seen all sorts of videos that indicates that this government that set out to fight Galamsey, Annie, is not doing so at all. Rather, per the evidences, like Professor Frimpong's Boateng's report, the Erastus Asari's documentary, are all evidence to the fact that the government that set out to fight Galamsey is actually not doing so. What they are rather doing is that those at the top are rather using the Chinese and whoever to actually destroy our water bodies and our forest. Annie, if you read the Frimpong Boateng report, there was a portion in that report that stated that at a point, the women could not go to the forest areas, the forest reserves, to cut woods for, what do you call it? Is it pistols? The one for pounding fufu?
Yeah,
it's pistol. Yes. They couldn't even get it. Because when they try going to the forest to cut those woods, the Chinese people are sent after them to beat them. They were beating our women.
They go into the forest to cut pistol. Which forest? Is it reserve forest?
Yes, that's where they get the wood. Forest. Yes, I think they cut wood or something from there to do the mortar and the pistol for the fufu.
Why would they go into a reserve forest to cut wood and mortar?
It was captured in Professor Frimpong's report. Yeah. Do you have the report?
Yes, I do.
Then you can look at it. It was captured inside. And it was also captured that...
So the Chinese is there mining, and then the women to go and cut their woods.
You know, the women go into the forest to cut firewood, to cut things, to do their things. What they are saying, per the Frimpong Boateng's report, is saying that those people that go to the forest... Have you seen it? Have you seen that portion of it?
I'm listening to you.
If you see it, you can read it.
If I get the page, I could be...
Yes, when you get the page, you can look at it. And this is what Professor Frimpong Boateng told Ghanaians, that the Chinese were doing to our own indigents, to our own people. In Professor Frimpong's Boateng report, he indicated that those people that were mining are government officials. They are within power. And he mentioned names. A lot of names were mentioned. Dates were given. Pictures were given. And based on that, there should be investigations on that. Unfortunately, the Chief Justice says that there is no basis for that report to be investigated, which is very, very unfortunate. Even with Erastus and documentary, Annie, doesn't it have evidence enough? With the documentaries, Erastus, now you can see the water bodies, you can see our forest reserves, you can see how they've been destroyed, you can see how the water is discolored, you can see, you know, in the olden days, we used to drink from the tap. And you could open your tap, do your hand, put your hands together like a cup, and then drink from the tap. These days, we can't do that. These days, water is even a commodity. If you don't have money, you can't drink water. Water is expensive. A bag of water now is 10 cedis. In 2016, a bag of water was 2 cedis. So what is my point? My whole point is that this government that set out to fight Galamsey, Annie, has not done much. Rather, they have complicated the issues for Ghanaians and they have made it worse. And so anything regarding Galamsey is a serious business, as serious as Cecilia Dape's case, and must also be investigated. There should be a committee to investigate the Galamsey issues that are happening in this country. And people should be sent to the forest reserves. They should be sent to their river bodies to see what is going on.
All these.
What have they done?
they've sent task force, they set up committees. I don't know what government.
They set up committees on the Galamsey issue.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, the chairperson of the committee, who is Professor Frimpong Boateng, brought out a report to say that this Galamsey we are fighting is not working because the people in NPP, the people in government, are really behind it. And so, as a president that you were willing and wanted to fight Galamsey with all your might, how come you are not taking this report seriously? How come you are not taking the documentary Erastus has done seriously? How is it that the president, when the report came out, said it was a hearsay? So, Annie, if you ask me, this government is really not doing anything about the Galamsey issue. They don't really care about our water bodies. They don't really care about forest reserves. And they have really muddied everything and made it worse. That is the truth. You see, it's about time, and it is our ethical and moral duty to speak to the issues confronting our country now. When the things are not going well, we have to speak to them. And I think this Galamsey issue, per Professor Frimpong Boateng's report and Erastus Asari's documentary, there should be another committee formed to really give us vivid details and vivid accounts on what Professor Frimpong Boateng has told Ghanaians.
Because to be fair, to a large or very little extent, depending on how you're looking at it, Erastus's reports brings to fore the situation, how the situation really looks like.
Very, very bad.
Okay, but have we used that report? It's like being in a university and, you know, people writing theses and stuff. When we finish, we just throw it on the shelves, and that's it. We don't really care about these theses anymore.
I think the special prosecutor, the special prosecutor's office is supposed to investigate issues of corruption. And so this Galamsey issue falls under them. And I think they are supposed to investigate it. And that is what I'm saying, that I think they started the investigations, but along the line, the CJ is saying that there is no basis. And there is no evidence. And I'm saying that there is evidence enough, more than enough evidence, for us to investigate this matter to the latter. And call those who were using the Chinese, call those who were involved in the Galamsey, call those who were using their power to mine when they are not supposed to destroy our water bodies. All of them must be called to order and investigated. We need answers. Professor Frimpong Boateng is a credible person. He's a German trained. He cannot come out with such a report. And government who set out to fight Galamsey will condemn it.
How about government saying that we call him and he doesn't show up?
They called who?
Professor Frimpong.
Professor Frimpong Boateng has stated time and again that everything he has is what is in the document. And so what is stopping them from picking the document to really work on it? You see, when you go to the law courts, and I stand to be corrected, when you go to the law courts, Annie, when you are put in the box, you are asked guilty or not guilty. Annie, when you say not guilty, or when you say guilty, it doesn't mean the issue has ended. You will not be discharged based on the fact that you said, I'm not guilty. At all. What I am saying is that the CJ, the Chief Justice, who is saying that there is no basis, what measures has he taken to ensure that what Professor Frimpong Boateng is saying is false? What did he do? Did he send team to the forest? Has he sent people to the forest? You don't need Professor Frimpong Boateng to be appearing every day to be saying the same thing over and over and over and over again. He has made his point. He has written official reports. He was the chairperson of the Interministerial Committee. What Professor Frimpong Boateng said is that along the line, all those people that were part of the committee left him. And why did the people leave Professor Frimpong Boateng to fight alone if they had no interest? Why did they leave him to fight this Galamsey alone? At a point, he got frustrated and decided to write an official document. This is a very, very serious document that must be taken seriously to the presidency for them to launch what do you call it, an investigation into it, so that those people that have been mentioned, Kojo Oponkoman's name was mentioned, Gabi Otrida, whose name was mentioned. A lot of the, names have been mentioned. Those in governments have been mentioned. They all have to be called and asked. Now, the CJ brought out a document and said, in that particular document, he said, all those that were mentioned have been called. And all of them have denied the allegations. And that is the reason there is no basis for investigations. And I am saying to you, that cannot be. That cannot be at all, Nani. We need to investigate this galamsey. And we need to hold President Akufo-Addo to his words. We need him to come and give an address on the galamsey issues to Ghana. We need him to come and address us as just the way he was doing with COVID. Addressing the nation and giving us updates on the COVID issues. We need the president to give us updates on the fight he set out, on the way he set out to fight the galamsey. He should come and give us updates on what he has done so far. He and his team, what have they done so far to fight the galamsey?